Mary Fred stepping out is whack. It's got poor Wayne locked up in his shack. Riley, Jonesy, and Shorzy are helping the Eagles scoresy. Meanwhile, Stewart is looking real jacked.
That fresh produce stand there, that's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart Torrance podcast.
Fuck. The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
Fucking sexy.
Oh, hell's broken loose. It's Thirsty Thursday. And that means we're once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show, Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one will get right down that big hole with you like Shadow did in Homeward Bound. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt and the Vagabond Victor.
Vagabond.
And joining us this week, she's the owner and proprietor of Postage.store. That's right, the namesake of our MVP segment. But despite that distinction, she says her claim to fame is that she once made Michelle Wolf laugh out loud in the ladies' room. She's a patron and a good gal. She's a really good gal. Please join me in making some noise for Anna.
Wondrous.
Oh my god.
Thank you guys.
Oh my god.
Good to be back.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Welcome back to the Produce Stand, Anna.
Thank you guys.
Now, tonight's lineup, where are we? Is going to be
How are you now?
Matt, Tanya, Al, Victor, and our guest Anna is going to have the last word. So, Matt, how was your week?
Busy.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm exhausted. So I've been pounding back before the show here, just getting ready to go, ready to have a few laughs.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long week. Wifey's been sick, so she's been literally at a commission for like the last 3 days straight. So that's been fun. She's okay, but just had a rough week. Aside from that, I mean, I tried brewing beer again on the weekend. That was fun.
Yeah.
Didn't go that great. I'm hoping it's beer at the end of the process, but I did have a big overflow, and that's my first time experiencing that. So it was fun. You know, you get to try to make the beer, and you boil it on your stove, and then it overflows and makes a mess all over your kitchen. So then you get to spend 3 hours cleaning your kitchen. So that's fun too.
I'm getting deja vu because last time I was on, I believe you were also brewing beer.
Oh,
yeah, Matt's always brewing, but it's been a while actually since you brewed it back.
No, it has been a while.
Yeah.
It has been a while, and I finally. It's weird. I did an IPA this time. Last time I did a Kolsch. I don't know if it's something different in what's in the ingredients, but man, this one just got away from me fast. It went from like 0 to basically a bomb going off in my kitchen, and we didn't know whether to laugh or cry, or we were trying to scramble, like, get it back on the heat. No, take it off. It was a mess, but ultimately we've got something in a bucket fermenting, and I'll tell you if it's in beer in a few weeks.
Awesome. Tanya, how was your week?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Life's a blur. Fuck it.
Right. I don't know. It's been busy. We had days off. That's right. We had vacation. Oh my God. I can't remember. Vacation was hard work. I put Al to work, and we redid the boys' room and moved furniture all weekend long, and so that we could take one day off on Monday and have fun. And we went mini golfing, which was great. And had dinner with my family, which was awesome. And then Tuesday we got some more choring done, and back to work on Wednesday. So it's been a busy.
Getting ready for the kids to start school next week. So
back to school shopping and getting their rooms ready, and it's been busy.
Yeah, we had to change the boys' room from a pre-teens room to a teenager's room. So got rid of the Super Mario decals and stuff like that and replaced it. He's got a nice, cool, like Letterkenny kind of red plaid duvet now, and just some, more mature furniture and stuff. So
we actually hung wallpaper. That was a first for us.
Yes, we hung wallpaper. I know.
People still do that?
I know. That's what I said too. I'm like, really wallpaper?
Cool wallpaper though.
It does look good, but
They say any relationship that can survive hanging wallpaper can really stick it out in the long term.
Well, I mean, Tanya and I are going 21 years, so I mean, we must be doing something right. Hanging wallpaper
That's a lot
isn't
of wallpaper.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Before Tanya put me to work last, was it Friday night? I got to hang out with some fine people at the Great Lakes Brewery in Toronto for TMLX 8, which is Toronto Mike's listener experience. Just think of like Ag Hall Social, except in person. And it was really cool. I mean, he had a great turnout, and it was nice to see lots of people there. Everyone was double vaxxed, so it was and it was outdoors, so it was relatively safe. Got to meet, or not meet, but got to see Miriam and Juan in person, and Beck and Don. So a few of our listeners who are also Toronto Mike listeners were there. So it was nice to hang out with them in person and hang out with some people. It was almost a normal day and a lot of fun. Victor, how's your week?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been also super busy. 2 nights. I've just been so tired. 2 nights. I slept through the night on a couch. Just went.
What did you do?
No, I didn't do nothing. It's just been really busy at work, and we've got some birthdays coming up. So I've been kind of trying to make sure we're ready for that, and Linda and I have been watching another new show that we Can you
talk about this one?
Yeah, do you have a name this time?
It's called Physical. It's on Apple. It's on the Apple network, or is that what we're calling it? Apple.
Sure, let's go with that.
Apple TV, you mean?
Apple TV, I guess. Yeah.
What's it called?
So it's called Physical, and I recommend it. It's really good. Not very many likable characters throughout, so it kind of keeps you intrigued in terms of what's going to happen, who's going to kind of end up being the person that I'm going to root for. But yeah, it's really good. It's I recommend it.
Oh, it's got Rose Byrne in it.
Yeah.
Is that the 1980s kind of one or something?
It is. It is. It's like it's kind of the era of the aerobics videos, videotapes, or whatever. Anyway, so there's some very interesting
the 20-minute workout era. Anna, was there a 20-minute workout in the States, or was that a Canadian thing?
20-minute workout.
No, it must have been a Canadian thing, because
I mean, you better off asking a natural-born American rather than naturalized American, because I was around in USSR in the 80s. So
that's right. Okay.
Oh, I was in the USSR in the 80s as well.
Yes, we've established this, Victor. Thank you for coming.
I don't remember. Yeah, it's been a long week. I've also been.
I remember watching some people in leotards doing weird gymnastics on TV. That was a thing. That was definitely a thing.
Well, the 20-minute workout was basically that. It was 3 women in leotards. I think it was every day at noon or something like that.
Yeah.
That's how I learned how to speak English.
It was aerobics, and it was
one more.
But
Two more? Now take it to the left.
Basically, left, and it was shot. I swear to God, hand on in the air. It was shot by porn producers, because the camera angles they used in this were not. Well, I mean, they were right for the.
I thought they were just fine.
The prepubescent kid watching it.
He couldn't even get that one.
I couldn't even get that out. They were right for me, but I think they wouldn't fly.
I remember the back angles.
Oh my God.
And then she would dip her head down between her legs.
It would be very artistic, because it would be point of view between her legs.
I wonder if they have that on the.
Oh,
I'm sure they have.
Look it up on YouTube. It was crazy.
Oh my God.
Anyway, our guest Anna is back. Anna, remind us. It's been since, I think, season 1 or 2 the last time we had you on here. It was a while ago.
It was a while ago. I think it was season 2.
Yeah. So how have you been?
Been all right. Just came back from a long trip not a long trip, but we had to leave our cat with the cat sitter. We went to Hawaii.
Oh, nice. You came back from Hawaii. That's a trip I always wanted to
do. Came back from Hawaii, where we did some spearfishing.
Wow.
Which is always fun.
Sweet.
Nice. And now you can spearfish in the New York subway.
Yeah.
So I know.
Or even out on the streets.
I'm
why
sorry.
even bother going down to the subway?
I don't want to make fun of this, because the footage I was watching today is heartbreaking. Like, some of the stuff is the flooding that's happening down there. First, let us know. Are you safe and dry where you are?
I'm good. We are. The apartment we are currently in is in the safe flood zone. we actually learned our lesson with Sandy. Like we moved out of flood zone A back when Sandy happened a few years ago. So since then we've been careful to stay. We were like, oh, so that also can happen. So we've been careful to stay up on relatively high ground. So we're okay.
Some of the flooding, though, I hear is like in some of the more elevated parts of Manhattan, though. Like, is that true or?
I don't know about elevated. I mean, it does. There's a flood zone A by the piers and B and C, where I think we're in C or B, but it got to within a couple of streets away from us, but we got like mostly just, it wasn't a river because the Queens Expressway turned into an actual river. Yeah. So we were spared this. So we were just got kind of some flooding in the, in the garage. So but it's the kind that you can dry off with, a couple of heavy duty industrial floor fans.
Sure.
So all good.
Yeah. You should see some of the videos. Like it looks like rapids coming through the subway, like the subway station.
Yeah. It is literally the subway stations there's some subway stations that get completely flooded.
And people's basement apartments were just gushing. Yeah. It's like I said, heartbreaking.
Yeah. It's a bad scene.
Well, we're glad you're safe and dry. I don't remember if you shared this story in your last appearance, but I'm going to ask you this right now: that your Michelle Wolf story. Why don't you share it with us?
Oh God. So that was.
So first of all, for those who don't know, who is Michelle Wolf?
Michelle Wolf is an amazing American comedian who is famous for bright red hair and a piercing voice. She's very funny. She used to host at least one show. I don't know what she's up to anymore, but at some point I went out to see a new set that she was working on. And it was in a small club. So I was like sitting in the front row, and a part of me was like, oh my God, please, like I'm hearing her do some themes that I was also working on. I'm like, oh God, please don't do any jokes that I want to do except a million times better, because then I'd have to drop them. But anyway, at the end of the set, people went to the restroom. So I headed to the restroom, and there was a tiny, one cubicle bathroom. And the only other person in there was Michelle, and she was washing her hands. And, we were like, oh yeah, great set, that was really fun. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a huge fan. And she's like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, although I'm not sure if this is an appropriate setting, because at that point I was opening the cubicle of the toilet stall.
Oh.
And it just occurred to me at the time that perhaps telling Michelle Wolf what a huge fan I am while getting ready to sit down on my butt and take it down probably is not the optimal scenario, but it really made her laugh. So,
well, you share the story in common with Kate Trevor Wilson, because he has a similar story with him and Jimmy Kimmel.
I think it's a comedian thing, because if you're in a small club, there's only like a bathroom.
Oh, like a reality show in the
running
making.
Into each other in really unpleasant circumstances.
It's a reality show in the making. In the bathrooms.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. In the comedy world, that's where some of the biggest deals get made, is in the shitter. Oh,
that's right. Yeah, just handshake deals right there over the trough.
After you wash your hands, hopefully.
Yeah.
And
exactly. Well, shake on it, or don't shake on it.
Yeah. And as we learned from tonight's episode, that's also where all the hockey pep talk happens before the game, apparently. So
Shorzy got his own spinoff show from the bathroom there.
Yeah, there you go. So before we begin that, I know it's late, but Tanya, would you like a coffee?
Yes.
And Victor, would you like a coffee?
As I sip my wine.
Matt, would you like a coffee?
I'm surprised we're not having coffee right now.
Great, because as you know, Diabolical Coffee is now being served at the produce. Oh, and as Anna takes a swig of her coffee, I think that's coffee. Maybe it's not. It's in a coffee mug.
It's a Surfing Goat mug.
Oh, very good.
Surfing Goat Dairy in Hawaii.
And of course, It's got Diabolical Coffee in it, right?
It has neither diabolical anything nor coffee.
Oh.
It has tea to help me sleep.
Okay, fine. It's but either way, diabolical coffee, devilishly good coffee, and diabolically awesome swag. There's a roast for all tastes, and even some you didn't know you wanted. There is no tea though. Sorry, Anna. You can order whole bean, coarse, standard grind, and espresso, or if you're like Tanya and me, there's a K-cup option for single cup brewers. I know that that's not green, but what can we do? We're busy and lazy people, so that's why we use K-cups. And for the duration of season 8 of our podcast, you can use the promo code ProduceStand for 10% off anything in the store. That's 10% off all coffee and merch. Thank you, Diabolical Coffee, for your support this season. And speaking of support, we have 13 new Twitter followers. So welcome to Milton Armstrong, city swimmer from Ireland, Mark Hepsher from Toronto, the legendary Toronto sportscaster Mark Hepsher is finally following us. So awesome. I met him at TMLX on Friday. Thomas Kramer, long hair from Ohio, Riegel from Punta Gorda, Florida, Andrew Motzi, Warner Bros, Chelsea Hodges from Montana, at Wormsnack, Brian Stouffer from Millersville, Pennsylvania, God Bless Saturday, and Caleb Leisenring from Loxley, Alabama. Thank you for following and hopefully for listening.
Previously on Letterkenny.
Last week we held our season 7 Egg Hall Social. We had a great time as always with our listeners with some Letterkenny trivia and prizes. And this week we begin a recap and review of season 8, beginning with episode 1, Misfire. Matt, have you done your homework?
Certainly.
Tanya, have you done your homework?
Yes, sir.
I've done my homework. Victor, have you done your homework?
Just in time.
Okay. Oh, and Anna, have you done your homework?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
We start with our cold open. We open with Jay and Dan on TSN Sports Center talking about the Canadian National Senior Hockey Championship featuring the provincial winners from 9 provinces and 3 territories. 9 provinces because the team from Nova Scotia is serving a 1-year ban due to a drunken off-ice incident at an old folks home on Family Day. Production. So a lot of detail there. Production notes. So Jay and Dan joke that Nova Scotians love their rum and cokes, and I was wondering when I was watching that whether that might have been a bit of a dig at the Trailer Park Boys, since there's the one character who's always got a rum and coke in his hand. I don't know, but it was an interesting thing for them to throw in there. Or is it? It's just
possible. I can say, I mean, from my experience, there's not a ton of rum and cokes. I mean, I go to Nova Scotia a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot of beer. There's a lot of booze in general, but I wouldn't say from my experience it's been personal or specific to rum and coke.
Yeah. So maybe it is an allusion to the Trailer Park Boys. Anyway, representing Ontario are the Kerry County Eagles, aka the native team from last season, but with their new shutdown line, Riley, Jonesy, and Shoresy from Letterkenny, Ontario.
The story of the tournament has really been the shutdown line for the host Kerry County Eagles, a trio from Letterkenny, Ontario.
Letterkenny?
That's what I said, Toolsy.
About time something good came out of there.
Jay and Dan cut to Kate Burness and Tessa Bonham, who are live in Kerry County covering the tournament. Kate and Tessa are outside the locker room with Riley and Jonesy, but no Shoresy. The Eagles are a perfect 2-0 so far, having beaten Nunavut and the Northwest Territories. Riley and Jonesy and Shoresy's line have combined for 9 goals in the 2 games for a plus-minus of plus 25. Tessa asks them what their focus has been for the first 2 games. Riley and Jonesy gave a very stereotypical hockey player answer with some choice input from Shoresy.
Yeah, Tessa, the number 1 rule of playoff hockey is don't get too high, don't get too low.
You're making a fool of yourself, you fucking labradoodle!
Yeah, it's a team game out there, and we just jumped on a train that was already rolling down the tracks, and we're just happy to be here and contribute and keep the momentum going.
Jonesy, you are such a fucking puggle!
Kate Burness throws back to Jay and Dan, who talk about the story of the tournament being a retired NHLer, Jean-Jacques Francois Jacques Jean, known by his teammates as JJ Frankie JJ, who leads the tournament in goals with 12 and 2 convincing wins over New Brunswick and Saskatchewan, respectively. Jay and Dan take that opportunity to poke some fun at the capital of Saskatchewan.
Did you say Saskatchewan?
Can confirm.
Remind me, Jay, what's the capital of Saskatchewan?
I think I know what's coming.
And cue the theme. All right. So, Matt, what did you think of this cold open?
Wait, Victor, is it a cold open?
Don't even ask him. Don't ask.
That was a cold open.
That was a cold open? Really? Okay, Matt.
Yeah. There's no qualifier for him.
Yeah, no, it's a moving post.
I mean, right? Depends on his mood that day.
Exactly.
I liked it. I mean, that was a lot of fun. I was really hoping. I wish they would do some what I'm going to call classic Letterkenny throwback and just have some really fun, almost like the alphabet or the. What is it? The Olympics, the
alphabet aerobics.
Aerobics. There we go. Thank you. Or something like that. I mean, I always love those ones where they really go out and just have fun with their words and really play. But regardless, that aside, it was a fun one. I will say, as you guys know, I'm not a sports guy, so I'm assuming those are all actual commentators from TSN.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they were.
Or they were.
Yeah. Half
Fair
of Jay and Dan is no longer there. Anyway.
But no, it was good. I mean, there's they're playing on a lot of, different aspects in the Canadian culture, things like that. Having some fun there. The guys in the interview were hilarious. Just, they're spitting out the most routine shit that any hockey players say at any interview. And
oh no, he's frozen. You're back. Okay, you're back.
What did you hear? Well, I said the most epic thing too, and it's awkward.
We heard "d," and then you froze.
Yeah,
it was dead.
No, I was just saying that I love the guys holding back when Shoresy was chirping them and watching them just so wanting to get in on it, but staying professional.
Yeah. Tanya, what do you think?
I was a little confused at first because I'm like, is this Letterkenny? Because I don't think they've ever had a cold open like this that came into
they did one other.
Yeah, they did another time. They did another one.
Yeah,
I guess Sports Center.
Because I remember Victor saying the exact same thing. Going,
yeah,
I wasn't sure whether I was watching Letterkenny or Sports Center, and he had to rewind and.
Yeah, I thought you were tricking me at first, and I thought, oh, this isn't Letterkenny, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it is. So yeah, there was that. It was okay. I didn't get a whole lot of hockey references. I wondered if that Regina song was an actual song or if that was just a made up thing. And those were my thoughts.
Okay. I love this open. I really enjoyed it. So just a little bit of background. So Jay and Dan were a sports casting team on TSN, a bit of a comedy duo. So the way they were acting on that cold open is kind of their shtick. That's how they act during their show. They're kind of a straight man, funny man kind of duo. And they act silly like that. So they were perfect for Letterkenny. The Regina song, apparently, because I'm not a big listener or watcher of their show, was a listener of their podcast submitted it. An American listener of their podcast wrote and recorded that song and sent it to them. So it became this big thing on their podcast, something that I guess they played a lot of, and it became kind of a big deal among their fandom. So having played that in the Letterkenny episode was probably a nice little olive branch there to their fans. Kate Burness and Tessa Bonham, I mean, they're amazing. I love the whole hockey thing, the whole TSN thing. I thought it was really well done, and it looks like they used like the same production for those because it looked exactly like a Sports Center episode. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. There was some other points, but they're escaping me now. So I'll just interrupt Victor when they come up. Go ahead, Victor. What did you think?
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed the Sports Center bit. It was a bit nostalgic. So to watch those buffoons, and they did a great job. I generally enjoyed the whole thing. I thought they did better than the Letterkenny crew. Like, they really brought the star power, and I thought they showed them up a bit. But I didn't really get the Regina song. Like, I didn't really get the reference to it. I guess it was funny for those that that were in on the joke. But for me, it was just, okay, so they're singing about, is it because it's supposed to sound like vagina?
Yes, that's exactly why.
Yeah,
that's what I figured it was.
But they weren't. But they were saying vagina, not vagina. So then I thought, okay, so we're just being silly. So I wasn't. I thought maybe there was more to the joke than I was being privy to, and then I kind of felt like, oh, okay, so now I feel like Matt when they're making hockey jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's an Easter egg to Jay and Dan fans who know their show and know that they, whenever Saskatchewan is brought up, that's something they're going to talk about, how the capital of Saskatchewan sounds like vagina. So
is that a Canadian thing then, or is that like an all over thing?
No, it's just a Canadian thing. So it's just it'll just be funny, I think, to Jay and Dan fans.
All right.
Anna, what did you think of this cold open?
Well, here's the thing. Since I'm neither a sports guy nor am I Canadian. So the setting, I got that it would only be funny if it were a real show, right? So it's got to be a real show. These are probably real people. So, okay, I'm getting that it's supposed to be funny, but honestly, I was mostly focusing on the actual Letterkenny cast. So my favorite part of that was the way Riley and Jonesy were crushing the life out of the cans they were holding while Shoresy was chirping them during the interview.
Yeah.
So that I mean that just made it for me, is just watching Playfair and and
it just shows your perspective is such an important part, right? Because it's just like knowing where Jay and Dan are coming from and who they are and all that. If you don't know them, they're not star power. They're just two guys. Who the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
Well, except they were down in the States for a little while on ESPN, and then they came back up here, and
that worked out so well.
That they came back, and a big deal was made of them returning to Canada, yada yada, and now they've been split up again because one of them. Yeah. Anyway, there's a long story there, which I believe I covered in a previous episode.
You did,
so we won't go there. So the only other thing is the way Riley and Jonesy respond to Tessa and Kate. That's a callback to not Letterkenny Problems, the YouTube clips, but pre-Letterkenny Problems. Kiso and Nathan Dales had these other clips. I forget what they were called. And they were basically just Kiso and Nathan Dales being hockey players doing those stereotypical hockey interviews. And so it basically goes a lot like that. So look those up. They're kind of fun as well. So it's basically, I think it was Kiso and Dales playing the part of the hockey guys before the hockey guy characters were created. So a little preamble to the Riley and Jonesy characters that we come to know later. Anyway, we go into scene 1. We pick up where we left off last season in Quebec as the Hicks fight the Fricks, and Wayne catches Marie Fred in the arms of another man. The other guy approaches Wayne, and Wayne proceeds to beat him senseless. Marie Fred leaves. We cut to Wayne back in Ontario, walking toward the ice fishing hut with a duffel bag. It's summer, by the way, and he enters a hut and shuts the door behind him. Scene 2, cut to the produce stand with Squirrely Dan, Derry, and Katie. I'm so happy to be back at the produce stand. Bonnie shows up and asks about Wayne.
Where's Wayne? Went into the bush like a wounded dog to die. Poor.
Ollies.
That's my girl.
And Daryl thought he had it bad with Skank Sinatra. Turns out all along, Wayne had hoary heart.
Hoary Feldman.
Horace Secord.
Hoary McElroy.
But ladies.
What, Dan? You just sit there and be a half-ass friend? Don't be a fence-sitter. Come out for it one way or the other.
Horadern.
That's my boy.
Horden Lightfoot.
Hora the Explorer.
Harrison Horde.
This is fast turning into the never-ending hoary.
Simmer down, Benicio del Toro.
At the risks of mansplaining feminisms to you, Professor Trisha always says women's is exposed to build each other's up, not tears each other's downs.
Women are supposed to build each other up, not tear each other down, is the new, I know you are, but what am I?
After a few more horror puns, Derry takes an opportunity to ask if Bonnie still wants to go out with him. She turned him down on account of Wayne being single again. She went from being all sweet on him to, sorry, Wayne's back on the market, so no. No.
I love the honesty throwdown on that.
Bonnie asks what Wayne is up to in the ice fishing shed. Katie tells her he's drinking, smoking, and watching VHS tapes of his favorite show, Miss Fire. That show is his happy place right now. Miss Fire's like Canada's MASH, except way more homophobics. Then we get a rare glimpse into Wayne and Katie's childhood.
Yeah, we weren't really allowed to watch TV growing up, so we used to sneak to Uncle Eddie's, and it's what he's always watching. Sentimental value there.
What's it about?
There's this super macho character, General Public, and he runs an army base full of these super effeminate soldiers. Privates, they're called.
Private sector's a particular thorn in the sides of General Public's.
General Public and private sector?
Yeah, and General Public has a secretary, Miss Fire.
Hence the title.
And she loves the super girly soldiers, and she gives General Public proper shit when he flies off the handle. He'll say stuff like, "That's it, Miss Fire, I've had about enough of those tutti frutti."
Yikes.
Yeah, and when he says stuff like that, Miss Fire will come in and she'll say, "Excuse me, seriously, please and thank you."
Excuse me, seriously, please and thank you?
Yeah, it's like their sitcom punchline, and the studio audience just goes nuts for it.
This show's a bit before everyone's time, but it gives Wayne a chuckle, something he needs right now. Katie and Bonnie go for a run. Squirrely Dan watches them off intently.
All right, let's take about 20% off there, Squirrely Dan.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Wayne's not here, so I guess you can say that now. Yeah.
So, just for our American listeners, Miss Fire is not a real show.
No.
It never happened. It's horrible. Anyway, scene 3, Tanis and the Eagles coach are in the bathroom together. Tanis is ranting about how she can't believe Riley, Jonesy, and Shoresy qualified for the native team. It pisses her off that everyone is suddenly 1/8 native. The coach doesn't seem to mind, especially since his team is undefeated in the tournament so far. Then we find out why they're in the bathroom together. Sitting in the stalls are Riley, Jonesy, and Shoresy taking their ritual pre-gamers. Tanis wants to arm Shoresy with details of their next opponent from BC to fuel his chirping.
Vancouver, British Columbia is currently home to both the richest postal code in Canada and the poorest. Vancouver housing prices are the highest in Canada, though Nova Scotia has the most pot consumers in Canada at 14.8% of the population smoking the Johnny Red Eye. BC is a close second with 14.2% of the population indulging in the electric lettuce.
I have family in Fort St. James.
They're a bunch of boat shoe wearing hemp hippies. They're probably over there smoking 7 paper cannons as we speak. So what say we load yours, all right? Skoden!
Skoden. Victor's shaking his head. I'm surprised that Nova Scotia has more pot smokers than BC. That was interesting. Riley takes.
I actually just looked it up. Apparently, as of 2020, I don't know when this was shot. It says 27% of Nova Scotia, 25 of BC. Wow. So Nova Scotia is still number one, though.
Yeah, you're number one. Right. Riley takes exception to the fact that Shoresy is getting all the attention when he and Jonesy are the trip kings of the club. Shoresy puts them in their place.
Hey, you want to talk about teamwork, Jonesy? I took your mom to medieval times, and me and the Green Knight took her down after at Best Western.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you, Riley. I took your mom the next weekend. Me and the Blue Knight showed her a real sword fight.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you, Jonesy. Your mom got us banned from Canada's Wonderland for trying to give me a tug on Top Gun.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you, Riley. I took your mom the weekend before, and she asked me to diddle her on Drop Tower.
Fuck!
Tiddler.
Production note here. There are a couple of signs posted in the bathroom. One is for hockey training sessions, but the other sign is a PSA for STI clinics in Letterkenny. It's a red stop sign that reads, "There aren't always signs that you have chlamydia."
Oh my God, I missed that.
I never saw that.
Next scene, Wayne is in the ice fishing hut with a cigarette, a bottle of Gus and Brew, and a Puppers, taking swigs of each between drags and watching his show. It's an awful show. Here's just a little taste.
I want to go west into the sunset.
Jesus, Harold Christ.
Now you just hold your horses this very second, General Public.
I can't take it anymore.
I'm warning you.
I got enough fruit in this platoon to start a winery.
Excuse me. Seriously, please and thank you.
All right, next scene. The girls come back from their run. Derry catches Squirrely Dan staring at them again. Katie and Bonnie settle in for Puppers. Katie exclaims that they've got to get Wayne out of there. It's been 2 months. The only time he leaves is to chore and run the dogs. Squirrely Dan doesn't think they should rush the grieving process.
Maybe he just needs a little bit of encouragement.
I'll give him some encouragement. The most important step in getting over heartbreak is getting excited to be single again.
I'll get him excited.
Squirrely Dan wonders if they should call Rosie. Katie thinks it's too soon. Squirrely Dan feels useless while his good buddy is down in a hole.
Remember that scene in Homeward Bound when that old golden retriever falls down that big hole?
Terry.
His name is
Shadow.
Man, I cried 2 pints of tears at that movie back in the day.
Samesies.
The Land Before Time belongs in this conversation.
You're goddamn right it does.
Fox and the Hound, too.
What did that young American bulldog do when his buddy was down in that big hole?
His name is Chance.
Well, what did he do?
He got right down in there with him. That's what he did. He saw his buddy down in that hole, down in the muck, and he got right down in there with him.
Yeah, he didn't let him go down there by himself? Cold and alone?
Oh, hell no! He got right down in there with him. Let's go, Derry.
Derry and Squirrely Dan run off to be with their buddy. But before they get too far, they turn back around to grab some puppers first. Next scene, cut to Kate Burness and Tessa Bonhomme from TSN back in the arena. Between periods during the Eagles game against BC. The Eagles are up 4-0. Kate and Tessa comment on the amount of chirping going on among the Eagles players. It's hard to tell if they're buddies or if they hate each other. They decide latter is the most probable. Scene 7. Tanis, Axe, Slash, and Shania are at the monitor recording all the chirping action on the ice. The third period begins. Riley and Jonesy and Shoresy do their usual chirping to get under the opponent's skin. Most of it has to do with the players from BC smoking weed. The Eagles score 4 more goals and win the game handily 8-0. Next scene, cut to the fishing hut. Wayne is passed out in front of the TV, which is still playing episodes of Misfire. Squid Dan and Derry are sitting outside drinking beer around a bonfire. They wince at every homophobic joke. Next scene, back at the arena washroom, Tanis and the Eagles coach are there to give Shoresy his briefing for the next opponent, which is a team from Newfoundland.
Shoresy, some information on your opponents. Newfoundlanders, or Newfies, as they're referred to by most Canadians, live in the toughest climate in Canada, according to Canada's Climate Index. Newfies are known to refer to themselves as Newfoundlanders rather than Canadians, which ought to chap your ass.
I got cousins out there that do that.
A small but notable percentage of folks living in Labrador wish to separate from Newfoundland, and a small but notable percentage of Newfoundlanders wish to separate from Canada.
Why do they want to separate from Canada?
They got a fuckload of oil out there.
But we love Newfies.
Not tonight, you don't. Shoresy, cannons loaded? All right. Oh, almost forgot. They speak kind of funny out there, kind of like their own language, so try and keep up. All right? Scootin'!
Tanis and the coach leave. Riley and Jonesy are so sad to learn that the Newfies want to separate from Canada. Shoresy sets them straight again.
2 of my top 5 all-time blowies came from Newfie broads, but if I have to listen to you 2 separatist sympathizers for 1 more second, I'll shoot myself in the face.
Riley, you ready?
I'm ready.
Good, because you're going. Jonesy, you ready?
I'm ready.
Good, because you're going. Shoresy, you... Fucking A. The TSN guys want you for a spot before Warmies. Let's get this fucking W, boys.
The fuck do you eat?
I love that.
What is the good because you're going?
It's just their way of saying, all right, like let's go. Let's get.
That's it. Like
it's just pumping them up.
I figured that's what it was, but I'm like, This seems like a weird way to say it. I don't know.
Next scene, Katie and Bonnie are having drinks at Modine's 3, watching the hockey tournament on TV. Riley and Jonesy are being interviewed by Kate Burness and Tessa Bonhomme. They're giving the most inane and cliched hockey answers.
Yeah, we gotta just take 1 game at a time there, Kate.
60 hard miles ahead before we cross that bridge with our brothers.
Yeah, 60 hard miles for a brotherhood out there.
It's a brotherhood out there.
Thank you, Riley.
You bet.
Thank you, Jonesy.
You bet.
You bet I wheeled Natalie's scooter in 2010.
You know, if Wayne could hear this, he'd spit.
This gives Katie an idea of a way to get Wayne out of his funk. Next scene, during the game against Newfoundland, the Eagles players try to chirp the Newfie players, but can't get a word in edgewise, as it seems the Newfies are speaking a different language. I mean, the words they're using are technically English, but I couldn't make out much of what they were saying.
2 of my top 5 all-time blowies.
Oh, that's the wrong clip. How about this one?
Yeah, we gotta just...
Oh, shit. I lost my clip.
Wowza.
That clip didn't get loaded.
We'll just give you a moment there, Al.
You don't look just right native to me, but bit mozzie on the rules, boys. But I'm told to play for the native team. Well, you got to be right native.
Where long so?
Yeah, Fisk. Shut the fuck up!
Jeez, boy, you're some crooked today, aren't you?
Plain, he's right rotted.
Fausty group C-Face, eh?
Right, Fausty group have come from a ways there.
Knows, Teddy knows.
Bull tap!
I'm gonna beat the shit
Let's
out
go on in that talk, boy.
That talk will have all hands crooked.
You'll have all hands right rotted.
So be careful, boy. I'll park you broadside the board.
Teddy will pack you right handy.
I understood maybe 10% of that.
It's so good and so accurate.
Is it? I was going to
Oh my God. No, it's so, I mean, there's a line they said right at the very end, where they say, stay where you're to till it comes where you're at, which basically means wait there until I get there. And that is a very common saying, a very popular saying in Newfoundland. And like it's the weirdest thing. Their language is like its own. I don't know where it's probably sponsored.
It sounds like it's straight out of Kilkenny, but plus 3 generations.
Yeah.
It's County Cork or it's Kilkenny, but several generations of other English influences.
Yeah. And
you
it's
can
not
still hear the Irish in there.
Oh yeah. And it's not even an exaggeration. Like I've met Newfies who sound exactly like that. And you're sitting there and the more they drink, the harder it is to understand them.
Yes.
It exaggerates even more. And but they're also some of the most fantastic people you'll ever
for sure. Yeah. Just can't understand them. Yeah. Next scene, cut back to the ice fishing hut. Derry and Squirrely Dan are still sitting out front. Katie and Bonnie show up with Riley and Jonesy. Riley and Jonesy talk about how the Newfies speak Canada's 3rd official language, Newfish, and how instead of chirping, they just focus on playing hockey and spank the Newfies. Katie asks Riley and Jonesy what their game plan is for their final game against Quebec. And they ask them to answer as they would if Kate Burness and Tessa Bonham had asked. So they do. After a bit of their cliched hockey nonsense sprinkled in with a bunch of war metaphors, Wayne finally bursts out of the hut.
We gonna fuck this pig? Okay.
You fucking fruit snackers.
You fucking tea-towler.
Squirrely, go ahead and take a couple steps toward him. Don't be surprised if all of a sudden they got someplace to be.
Who put a nickel in you?
You're a dilly bar, bud.
Fucking bowl filler.
You're a fucking day old.
You are fucking average.
Like we're using a pretty tough car accident at one point or something.
What, do you think you play for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
You play for the Toronto Maple Queefs.
You're a fucking noodle and you look like a goose.
You know the TSN turning point?
Yeah.
We use our TSN turning fucking dumber.
You are a bunch of fucking misplays.
You're the Motrin pain of the day and the Pepto-Bismol upset of the week.
Fucking novice.
All this brotherhood talk's gotta stop. When it's uncertain, you don't suck each other off.
Are you giving his flute a little toot?
I think you'd give his flute a big hoot.
Oh, big old mouthful of bell end.
You are so fucking 5'11".
You are a fucking anchor, bud.
Get the fuck off the property.
I think Wayne's back.
Fuck a duck.
That last bang was Wayne locking himself back into the hut, and hence Kitty's reaction. Final scene. Big City Slams walking into the Skids' lair as they find the Skids pumping iron. We get a look at the new steward before we fade to black. And we fade to black. All right, Matt. Initial thoughts on this episode. What did you think?
I liked it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good stuff here. I mean, the hockey stuff again. It's fine. Mm-hmm. I don't love it. I miss a lot of the references, but at the same time, I didn't care because there was a lot surrounding it and I understood the jokes that were going on. As I've had in other episodes, I always love all the Canadian references, like the Newfie thing, as I just talked about. It really cracked me up. There's so much accuracy. Even the name, if you caught the name of the Newfies, so it was the George Streeters, right?
Yes.
So you know anything about Newfoundland, St. John's, Newfoundland is the capital. George Street, and on this 2-block street there's something like 25 bars just lined up, and it's a big deal to go there and hang out and party on George Street. If you go to Newfoundland, that's the place to and then so that was their team name with 2 big beers on it. So there's just a lot of good references throughout the whole episode. I really enjoyed Wayne in his limited capacity in this one as well. So like even at the right out of the get-go when they're at the and for the record, Fricks is not a thing.
Too late. It's already a thing.
But when they're in Quebec there and he catches Mary Fred, normally when he fights, he's like, let's do this. It's almost like a business transaction. Like, I'm going to put you in your place because I'm the toughest guy. Letterkenny, move on with your day. This time, everything about his approach to when he kicked that guy's ass was like hurt and anger, and you saw it from his acting chops came out in that moment. Because you could see a very different Wayne take over. And then even he continued in the other scenes. You saw him take off, just drinking the beer, the Gus and Brew, the cigarette. I like the different side of Wayne we saw here, even though it was heartbreak behind it all. And I thought he did a great job. So a lot to play with in this one. A lot of fun scenes. Overall, I liked it.
He didn't throw a punch. He basically just hit that guy's head into the floor until he was knocked out. It was there was legitimate anger behind that, and not business. Yeah, for sure. Tan?
Yeah, there's so much in this episode. It really is. I wanted to say that Shoresy's foot stomp coming to attention when Tanis came into the room and did the rundown of the provinces. I thought that was entertaining. I thought it was entertaining that Tanis was doing that with each of the groups that they were going up against. I want to have a poll for bathroom before games or shows or except whatever public event.
Oh, I can tell you about that.
Is that a thing? It must be a thing.
It is for me, or it was for me before a show. Yeah, there was always a pre-game dump before a show.
I'm wondering if it's a thing. Like it must
is for
be
me.
A thing.
Yeah,
check. And you did that in a group as well?
No, not in a group. It was I would sneak away and take care of business before getting on stage.
Well, if you ever want to see a lineup for a men's bathroom, attend a marathon. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really?
The pre-run shits are a big deal, and those
is it
lineups.
Just like the energy, or like the nerves, or like the build up to it all?
I think it's a mix of things, but
Also,
I've never
going to be out there. You don't want to, have to go midway.
Could be, but I mean, I've done a few big runs, and I've never experienced lineups at a men's bathroom before until I went to a race.
Interesting. I wanted to say the Canada's Wonderland references to the rides, they're accurate.
They're accurate, but outdated.
Outdated.
Yes, the names are wrong.
Yeah, but probably from the time that they ran this show, they were correct and current. I wanted to say Riley and Jonesy, them tearing up or the nose sniffles that they had, is that like just making fun of?
Yeah, I think that's just them mimicking what a hockey player does, and
they weren't tearing up. It said that they were just mimicking.
That wasn't a tear up.
That's it was runny noses or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like
mannerisms.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether it was a reference to like what Shorzy did in the bathroom and then tearing up and couldn't breathe or whatever. Anyways, I still feel bad for Riley and Jonesy getting ripped up by Wayne and Derry. The look of hurt on their faces when that happened, I still feel bad for them. I get it that it's trying to get Wayne out of his funk, but they just look sad. But I love Squirrely Dan's energy and how excited he got to save Wayne and get him out of the hole. And I thought that was fantastic. So that's it.
All right. I really enjoyed this. This is a really strong first episode season, or like whatever, you know what I mean? Like episode.
Wait, no, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Episode 1. This is a really strong episode 1 for a season because it bucks some of their trends. So, for example, usually when they leave a cliffhanger, they don't address the cliffhanger until the end of the first episode or even the following episode. This time they pick up right where it left off. So that was something different from what they usually do. I really enjoyed the hockey stuff. I thought I thought it was a lot of fun, bringing in the TSN crew. It's a lot of fun. The way Tessa and Kate covered that senior men's hockey tournament. They're covering it like they would a junior tournament or something, a bigger deal. Like TSN would never cover a senior men's hockey tournament, but the fact that they did that was kind of fun. I really enjoyed this, and we're seeing a side of Wayne. We're seeing a side of a hurt Wayne. Like we're seeing the backlash or the output from him being cheated on by the woman that he was engaged to. So this is an interesting plot line. There's really strong storylines that have started right off the bat from this. And I feel like in the past, we felt lukewarm by the first episode of the seasons, and this time we're starting off really strong. I think in this season, and maybe it's because last season was so weak. It feels like this is a really strong start to season 8. Victor, what do you think?
Well, there were some ups, there were some downs. Overall, for me, it was a misfire.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
how long did it take you to come up with that one?
I know, right?
I mean,
excuse me, or what's?
I didn't even catch it.
What's the saying?
Bravo, Victor.
So, okay.
Excuse me, seriously,
Oh,
please, and thank you.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Anna.
So I mean, there was so much good. There was so much good, but the good was tainted with some questionable. And again, it does come down to perspective. This episode has a lot to do with how much knowledge you're kind of bringing in terms of how you will connect with the material, which is fine. But an example, like with the hockey stuff, I loved most of the hockey stuff. If I never have to see Shorzy or hear Shorzy on the toilet again, it will be too soon. And
So
that's
you're not
why
going to want to watch the spinoff.
I have some trepidation about the spinoff show. So I just those. I mean, one, fine. They went to the well once. Fine, we got through it, but they went back. They went back there again. So 2 interviews in the bathroom, and we're just supposed to ignore the fact that Tanis is in the bathroom. Like, why? Why are you in there? You can't wait till he's done with the shit.
No,
we're gonna work shit out.
Yeah,
you gotta. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there need to be boundaries in life, and that's one of them.
There are no boundaries in Letterkenny.
No, I get that. For me, just those 2 bathroom scenes are throwaways. I don't need them. I don't find them funny. I know Matt likes it. I just don't find the fart humor funny anymore. Like it's been there, done that. Let's move on. Let's do something else interesting about Shorzy. Let's give him another layer where he doesn't have to.
No, I want to interrupt, and I don't want to interrupt. Go on.
Let's get him off the shitter. Let's put him on some. Let's give him some other.
You're so missing the point there, bud.
Yeah, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. So anyway,
he is as God made him.
Yeah.
That was great. And then the whole thing of the storyline with Wayne, I'm fine with that. But I just don't understand, and maybe you can help me explain. They made up this ridiculous show, and the whole premise of the show is to make fun of the gays. So, and why? And Wayne, no, it is. It is. That's the point. That's the point of the show. And Wayne is finding that humorous and funny. I don't get that because that's not his character. So that didn't work for me.
That was totally explained in the earlier scenes with Katie. But anyway,
okay, sure.
It was just a memory lane thing. It was something that he reverted to that was Uncle Eddie's.
Are you not nostalgic for shows like Barney Miller or some of those?
Barney Miller wasn't a show about making fun of the gays.
No, it was it was a show about a racist old man.
Yeah. Yes.
Did you like that show?
I didn't, not particularly.
Okay, but anyway,
that's a little bit before my time.
The purpose of the show wasn't to make fun of the gays. It was an old-fashioned show, so they were making fun of those old shows.
Every punchline was about Fruity Tooty.
Exactly. There were shows like that all over the place in the 70s.
If you go back and
80s.
watch so many things from the past, they just they're so not PC.
Yeah,
and so
none of it was PC, but I know specifically about this show was that, and that's
he was nostalgic for it. It was his comfort zone. Victor, you missed that point entirely.
I don't think I did. I don't think I missed anything.
Can I interject something?
Please, Anna.
Go ahead, Anna.
So, am I the only one who thought that the show was not homophobic? It was like gay central, and the general was the butt of the joke.
Yeah, well, exactly.
That's what it That's what it came out sounding like. It came out like Wayne's, comfort is, Gus and Brew Puppers, cigarette, and that gay show he used to really like, but doesn't let himself watch too often because it's like, it's a gay show, but he just really needs the gay fix right now. Like he just cannot deal. Like he just really needs to, watch a platoon full of gay soldiers like dancing around this one crusty old general, and the hag that protects them. So to me, it came out completely different. It's like basically his version of sitting with a pint of ice cream and watching Will and Grace.
Sure.
That's like how it came off to me.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's not how I took it. Look, there's shows that I'm nostalgic for. Look, Benny Hill could not be made right now, but I'd watch the shit out of a Benny Hill marathon.
I love Benny Hill. I have Benny Hill DVD sitting right in front
but
of
Benny Hill was a horrible show. Like it could not be shown right now, but I'm still nostalgic for that show. So this is what I'm saying. He didn't like it he didn't like the show because it was homophobic.
You're
He liked
missing
it
my
because
point.
he was nostalgic for the
That's
show.
fine. You're missing my point, but that's okay.
Okay.
That show, the whole punchline was always about making fun of the gays, whereas every other on show from the 80s that was or 70s that wasn't PC, it's like to make fun of everybody.
You're giving a lot of weight to a made up show. That's anyway.
I'm giving my color based on what I saw.
All right,
Yeah.
Anna. What are your initial thoughts for this episode?
Please tell us.
Not one of my favorites, to be honest, just because I like that it's plot driven, but it is the plot is all hockey. And I like Letterkenny basically because I like watching Kiso and Nathan banter on screen, or Riley and Jonesy. But there's not a lot of interaction. It's all, for me, it's all about the chemistry between every particular kind of couple that plays off each other. And if there's not a lot of that going on, good chirping from Shorzy. The fart and the poop is it's getting a little stale, but it's like musical accompaniment at this point. And it's like, you can't kill the theme music, the beloved theme music for a show, 8 seasons in. You can't just change the theme music. And so that's basically fart noises are Shorzy's theme music at this point.
Yeah, or punctuation. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is how he punctuates his sentences. Yeah. So, okay, fine, I'll allow it. And I love that they finally called out, "What do you eat?"
Yeah,
because that has been hanging over there like just a big red question mark. Like, Shorzy, come on, man, eat a vegetable. Like, what are you? It sounds like he's chugging nothing but protein shakes. I mean, what is happening?
Maybe he's lactose intolerant. He's drinking a lot of milk.
Yes, maybe he needs to give up dairy. Maybe he needs to do something. I don't know. I just can't see. I don't understand how he manages to, score as much as he apparently does, even if half of what he makes, what he talks about is made up. We already saw in a previous episode that Jonesy and Riley's moms really did ask about him. Yep. So presumably at least some of it is not made up. How on earth can he possibly pull when he's always making these disgusting smells and noises? I mean,
Puck bunnies.
Pug bunnies enjoy that sort. Okay, maybe there's a subsection of pug bunnies that are specifically into scat, but I'm sorry, but if a guy,
but all fairness, they don't see that.
Right? Okay, no. If you bring a guy to a hotel room and he goes to the bathroom, as he presumably eventually will, not only will you not see it, but you will hear and smell it, and boy, does that kill the mood.
So, funny quick story on that. One of the first.
Oh no!
No. One of the first times Jen and I went away when we started dating, we rented this little cabin north of here. When we got there, we didn't realize this. They had a compostable toilet or composting toilet. So there's a bit of a process behind this thing. Yeah. And it was the smallest little place in the world. And the door to the bathroom was just basically a sliding screen. So my point was we got to know each other very well that weekend, and we're doing fine. So it's
if you're working to establish intimacy with a potential partner, nothing will bring you closer than a too small toilet.
Oh, okay. So if
Shorzy's trying to, just get somebody in the sack, this would be a serious impediment.
So
I mean, and the thing is, all these pug bunnies know each other. This would get around. Like, are you with a guy who farts a lot? Oh yeah, no, seriously, like put a cork in there, buddy, or something.
So do you want to tell this story?
Oh, they have a good one. I can see. She's got her hand on Al's shoulder. They're both looking at each other with fuck. And now they're going to tell us. So go.
This could be the reason why we're going on 21 years.
I think it is.
Go ahead.
I really do think it is. So our honeymoon. So we went to Mexico, and upon arrival, I realized that my stomach, I ate something bad on the plane, and I had... then we ordered soup, and then it went from bad to worse. And we
Montezuma's Revenge.
I was very, very sick, and we're in a very beautiful hotel room, and the bathroom the bathroom has slotted door. Like the whole, it's like basically a blind.
Yeah. I know the doors you're talking about.
And everything I'm doing is absolutely smelt and heard and echoed into the room. And it got to the point where I was like, these damn pills that I had taken, it says, take a pill every time you have a loose stool. And I'm like popping these pills, and to the point where I can't even fart because I
put them in a Pez dispenser?
Backed up. We were basically locked in the room for a week without being able to leave because I couldn't move. I was in so much distress.
It's a good thing it was a 2-week honeymoon because the first week was a write-off.
God, it was such a write-off.
Did you get to leave during the day?
No, not really. Well, I mean, during the day I might have gone for a walk or whatever, but I
think I watched you in the pool from the comfort of the of the balcony because I couldn't go too far. And then we went to and then we finally, like, I went for a little walk, and like the cramps were so bad I had to hold on to the light posts as we're walking around the resort. Anyways, we got a little bit better, and then we decided, okay, we got to make the most of this last week, and we went for a massage. And this woman, she starts massaging my butt. She's like, she's trying to relax me, and I'm like, you don't want me to relax, lady. Like, this is tight for a reason. I'm like, I'm locking things in right now. It was so funny.
So yeah.
Oh my God.
Baptism
yeah, we got real close.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember every time I farted, you were like, "Ole," because we were in Mexico. So just made fun of it. Just had fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's move on to ratings. Matt, what do you give this episode?
I'm torn. There's a lot of good, but you guys all set different perspectives. So it's. I'm gonna give it a clearance, but I'm gonna give it a high clearance.
Oh,
because I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff here, but I feel like our scale has been challenged lately. Anna made some good points about her perspective on the show, which I like. Again, I didn't understand a lot of hockey references, so that pulls me away. I was glad to see Shoresy in I like this version of Shoresy in this episode, opposed to the last couple episodes of season 7 there, where it was just way over the top. I thought he was good here. There was a lot of good laughs, but I don't know. It's a very high clearance, but I can't quite give it a fresh because there's something holding me back. I don't know whether there's just some gaps in what was going on. I appreciate the storyline. I desperately wanted some classic Letterkenny moments, and I feel like it wasn't there.
Okay, disappointing. Tang.
I really liked that they looped back to the end of the last season, and that Wayne, we got to see him go through that again, and they really did flash back to a portion of that last episode. So I like that they did that because I hate when they leave us hanging. I think the show had a lot of great moments in it.
How about you want to talk about the one you asked me to rewind a few times?
I was going to say, and I really like that they looped around to Stuart and how we ended the last show and him.
We haven't talked about that at all.
No, we haven't. No one's brought that up. Tanya made me rewind it and pause it.
Well, because it went so fast, and I just needed another opportunity in order to
enjoy Stuart.
I just needed to see what happened there and make sure I took.
Well, what happened is Stuart got even hotter.
Yes, so that was lovely. Yes, we rewound and played. I think 2-3 times.
Pause.
So right. He did a really good job working out. He did.
Yes. I wonder what the sequence of filming was on this. Like, okay, is this airbrushed or like what's happening there?
No, so I mean, when Tyler was
really lived for like 2 months.
When Tyler was on our podcast, he mentioned to us. He said at the end of the previous season, Kiso came to him and challenged him. Can you put on forget how much weight and muscle for the next season. And
that must have been really hard to do.
And he said, challenge accepted. And he talked about it all year. All he ate was like chicken breasts and protein shakes and stuff. Yeah,
it looks like that because he was body fat non-existent. I mean, he was just delicious.
A guy like that, it's hard to put on that kind of weight.
Yeah, because he's
noticeable
he's a
weight.
skinny little thing.
Yeah,
like,
not a big guy.
And it's hard when you bulk. When and then you have to cut. It's really hard to do that at once. So you presumably did a couple of bulking cutting cycles.
Yeah.
I can't. It's quite amazing, the transformation, and good on him. And it looks great. And I can't wait to see more. I hope there's oil, oil
Just
and tanning.
there's that scene that Trace can't wait for you to see is still coming.
Oh, is it? This wasn't it?
No, that wasn't it.
That's exciting.
Yes.
That's exciting.
So what do you give this episode?
It is. It's a tricky episode. I didn't get a whole lot of the hockey references. There wasn't a whole lot of laughing going on. It was just as Anna saying it was just like a lot of story and building the plots, right? It's hard. I kind of feel like Matt. Like it's damn it.
Come on.
I'm gonna say, and you know what? Damn it.
Go with your gut.
You can always change. We've changed before. We won't hold you to it.
I'll say it's a high clearance as well.
Oh, okay. Clearance.
It's really hard because I want to give it a fresh, but.
Well, here.
I'm with you. I really did enjoy the episode.
Let me help you both. This one is an easy fresh for me. I got all the hockey stuff. And I enjoyed the Sports Center stuff. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the way they carried the story from the previous season, unlike they've done before. I think they're setting the season up really nicely. I think of all the season 1 episodes, or episode 1 of all the seasons, yes, season 1 was obviously the best one because it drew everyone in. There's a couple of really good ones, but there's a couple of really bad ones that we've had where we're like, it started off lukewarm. This one did not start off. This one here started with
nothing you're saying is wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
The bathroom scenes, Victor, I can't disagree with you anymore. It wasn't about the farts. It was about Shorzy's pre-game ritual. Tanis coming in and feeding him information like
coming to attention.
That information was so dumb. What
I agree with this. The information was pointless and weirdly.
It was to give him.
It was factual.
It was factual, but it's just to give him like.
You're being such a fanboy right now.
No. I disagree. This was a really strong episode. I really enjoyed it. It's an easy fresh for me.
All right.
And you guys are all wrong so far.
Clearly, and, those muscles shine so bright they blinded your reasoning.
And anyway, I didn't care about the Stewart reveal, but I did really enjoy the slow mo of this Big City Slams walking into the Skids lair. That was kind of fun. Victor.
For me, it is the clearest of clearances, and there wasn't any wavering back and forth about whether this should be a fresh or a compost. It was a clearance all the way. Everything that you said about this, except for your explanation of the bathroom scenes, everything was agreeable and to the point to say yes, exactly, and it's a clearance. So I don't disagree with your synopsis of the show, but you're really pushing it with some of your
and Matt, you wanted to return to old Letterkenny. We had to return to the produce stand. We had a repeat of Dan going, "Oh, hey there, ground!" Like he's looking at Katie and getting caught by Derry this time.
There was some good moments.
That was great. That was great. What's your point? That was great. And then
I know I can't sway you, but I think I can sway Matt here, right? So
no, listen, I'm close. I know. So like I said, I enjoyed it.
The Canadian the references to the Canadian provinces, the Newfies, just I
know I'm probably going to regret my rating.
I think you will.
I've been really craving, and I think that's what Anna was talking about too. Like some of the banter between to Derry and Wayne, all that. Like I miss a lot of those scenes, and we're getting little snippets of it, but then they're backing off and going somewhere else. themselves.
The funniest part of the show was when Derry told Dan to take it down 20%. That was the only time I laughed in the episode really out loud, and I loved it. I thought that was great, and there wasn't enough of that.
Yeah, well, even when Dan, his outburst around, getting down in that hole,
yeah,
and with your buddy, like that was one of the best scenes. Like that was one of my favorite moments of this show.
Oh, he went all in on that.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
His voice
and
cracked.
And then them running back in
his voice broke.
Yeah,
There were tears. There was a sob threatening to come through.
I felt his pain.
He dug deep.
That was his,
for memories of watching those cartoons.
That was his Emmy moment right there.
Yeah, definitely Emmy moment.
Yeah,
that was Oscar bait.
All that to say, something's just holding me back. I'm not excited about the episode. I'm excited about moments, but I'm not excited about the whole.
And the other thing that back to connecting to what Tanya said earlier, actually, they threw they threw our poor hockey guys to the wolves, all to try to get Wayne out of his slump, and it was all for nothing because he ended up going back in.
Yeah, it was worth a try, though. It was worth a try.
Yeah, but it was they sacrificed them, and it was all for nothing. So it's just I don't like that.
All right, Anna, what rating do you give this one?
I'm gonna go ahead and join the clearance crew.
Okay. I mean, I expect this from you. I mean, you're American and you're not a hockey fan, so I get it.
PC, bro.
I watch Maailman Mestari when it comes on. All right.
Okay.
I don't watch Canadian hockey. I watch Finnish hockey. I'll watch Finns versus Swedes or Finns versus Russians any day.
Oh wow. It's a deep cut.
But yeah, Maailman Mestari is pretty much the only one I'll watch with any regularity, just for the funsies. I grew up watching hockey when I was in Russia, and
that's fair enough. Yeah.
It's not. I thought that even with hockey, they could have done more. I thought their digs could have been better. I thought that, pulling up a couple of really kind of irrelevant wiki facts about each province and then doing a random chirp about it that has no relevance to anything is, I suppose a part of it is just you pick something to talk about and you talk about it to confuse the other guy.
Yeah.
More than, even insult him. But I just thought it was a strange thing that you just pick pot.
Well, but that's would be like, okay, if like, even to any non-hockey player person, you talk about people from BC, they're the hippies, they're the pot smokers, they're the sandal wearers, that's what they're known for, that's their stereotype. So
I guess
they're hippie Canada.
Yeah, they're hippie Canada for sure.
It's an odd choice of insult to me.
Well, again,
they were just finding a super generic, specific.
It is a little, it's not just
stat to that area.
It has nothing to do with sportsmanship, with skill, with hockey, with anything. It's just pick, a theme and just talk about it into a microphone. It's a bit improv, and improv is
my favorite trick.
Not usually only fun for the people involved in improv. Listening to improv is usually kind of trying. Yeah. For everybody involved, unless you're really, really good. And this one kind of fell flat.
My favorite chirp was from the Eagles coach, actually, when he chirped the ref saying, "What, are you getting a contact high from being around the BC players?" Because he was blowing calls or something like that. I thought that was fun. But anyway.
That was okay. The Newfies were the best part of the hockey. Yeah. The two Newfie guys with that dialogue, that indecipherable dialogue.
Allegedly, it was the best part if you could understand it.
No, the understanding it was the part of it. It's the trying to desperately to decipher what the hell is happening.
I was reading the captions and I still couldn't get it. This was the part
where you identify with where the whole lineup of the Eagles with the Fisky, goes completely awry. Where you expect it to start doing, they're starting to do their lineup of.
I did appreciate how they did that.
Get off the ground.
I'm actually quite shocked that Al and Matt didn't look up some of those Newfie references in order to have
Matt explained a couple of them. I knew a few, like throwing hands. That's just fighting.
Yeah.
And the thing that Matt said, and they were commenting on how most of the Eagles team didn't look like they were natives. So I got that much of it.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of it that was just
No, but the Newfies were like good kind of classic vaudeville clowns. Great, always good when it's done well.
Yeah.
Very, very good. The breakup in the lineup of, the starting from Fisky where he just completely fumbled and just said, shut up, was great because, again, it sets up the expectation of the passing of the lineup and just whizzes it down his pant leg. Great. So other than that, obviously Trevor K. Wilson committing to his, hard, heavy emotional outburst over cartoons. Excellent. Beyond that, there were a couple of bright spots with dialogue. Shorzy calling Riley a labradoodle was an insult for the ages because it's so goddamn accurate. I mean, you just think about it like, yep, that you got him. It's a labradoodle. It's a golden retriever even more, but that's it. That's a puppy. Just watching them crush the cans when they're being undermined by Shorzy from the back, during their interview where they're trying to be all serial. Great. Wayne's indulgence in the gay show was, I could have used a lot more of that, and I could have used more of them bringing in Derry and just bring in everybody. Have them all watch the show, have them remember Uncle Eddie. This could have been more. Again, it's a little bit.
Yeah, I feel
like they kind of underdeveloped. They galloped over some things and underdeveloped them. Like that show, let's have him and Katie remember watching this with Uncle Eddie. Let's have him quote Uncle Eddie.
I like the insight it gave a little bit into their childhood, though. Saying they weren't allowed to watch TV; they had to sneak over.
We already knew they didn't have birthdays, but now we're getting a little bit more like, okay, it's solidifying that what their childhood was like.
Yeah, exactly.
But so it's. I don't know. Oh, and of course the final chirping scene where they, Wayne and Derry let loose. A couple of points I didn't like was those gay jokes really were gay jokes he was accusing the guys of being,
sucking each other off.
Sucking each other off.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Like that is a gay joke.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the other one,
because he's watching that show. Of course, you got influence.
Again, I still think that like what they were going for with Misfire was like more, the butt of the joke is the old general rather than anything else. But
you don't need to explain to Victor. He's a lost cause. But anyway,
my cat disagrees. But I loved hi, Mrs. Cat. She wants to be in my lap right now. But what I really loved was Kiso standing all 5'10", insulting Riley, "You're so 5'11".
Yeah.
That's such a great insult. It would never have worked if Kiso was tall. It works so well because he is a small dude. It's like, what a great insult. Like, I don't even know do you even know what you meant? You meant you were average, but you're below average? What is that?
Yeah.
Nope, just, you're so 5'11".
Yeah.
It's a bit like with the pot insults, just, it's something to get in your head, so he's just getting in his head.
I will say that final barrage of insults wasn't as clever as they've been in the past. Like I think back to episode 1, season 1.
I love the 5'11" one.
Yeah, when Riley and Jonesy first show up at the laneway and you come in Men for All of Us and all that stuff, those were smart, funny chirps. These weren't so smart. They were more just kind of
the opening scene reigns supreme, with that opener.
Yeah.
Because it kept going back and forth because they kept switching. You go from this couple of dudes to the other couple, and there's more hold my spitter.
Yeah.
You know, they get to respond physically. They get to do some more of the, physical visual gags, timing, tarps off, boys, they get to, it's more interactive. Whereas this was more one-sided, not quite as smooth.
Yeah.
The writing not as crisp.
Yeah.
So again, clearance for me because it felt a little rushed, a little underdeveloped, a little raw. Some ideas they could have dropped, some they could have done more with. So,
All right, fair enough.
Look, you're firmly in the minority on this.
Apparently, I mean, I really, maybe because I was just happy to have another episode to recap. And last season was not a great season. So this one here, I thought it was a good start. Anyway, let's move on to top fives. I think this is going to be quick. Matt, does this make any of your top fives? No. Tanya, no. Even though I give it a fresh, I mean, my top five is right now pretty much written in stone. I can't remember if there's anything that might even come close to knocking one of those off. Victor?
Oh, no.
Anna, I don't expect you to give us your top five, but maybe you want to.
No, but I mean, this one wouldn't.
No.
It does not.
Yeah.
Again, all I remember before I rewatched it, I remembered it mostly for the really terrible misfire idea because it was not that the idea, I didn't think it was, again, I viewed it as a, kind of a proto Will and Grace type show that is Wayne's guilty pleasure. But the actual writing was so bad. Like I know you guys are trying to imitate, but but you can't just say you're Canada's MASH and then come up with this crap. You have to write something that resembles MASH.
Yeah.
MASH is very funny and very clever.
Yes.
Whereas you make this was like several paragraphs of the same exact joke.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was a bad joke. And it wasn't even a joke. And the delivery was bad. And you're like, okay, so the point is that it's horrible.
Yes, absolutely. The point is
that it only works if you contrast it with something really good, but you don't contrast it. Wayne is just watching it passively. And that's why, again, like, no, like you do something else with this or, do it better or do something else.
All right.
Again, you do not get to grab MASH and like that is, that's stolen valor. You do not get to steal that valor and write that crap. You can compare it to MASH when you come up with good one-liners.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to a segment of the show that actually was born from the last time you were on here, Anna, and that's the Postage.store MVP. Matt, who's your MVP for this episode?
Squirrely Dan.
All right, nice and direct. I take it it's for his Emmy-nominated performance.
It was so good. That scene made me so happy.
Yeah,
and I felt every bit of his emotion.
Okay,
so yes, he gets it.
10.
Squirrely Dan for his drama, Stuart for his ripped muscles.
Okay.
For that 0.5 seconds that he was on.
I know, right? Like
he spoke nothing.
She had to make me stop and rewind and pause.
And I think he deserves some, respect and recognition for that hard work that he put down.
Take about 20% off of that.
It's all the rips, reps, and revelations. All right, I'll give Squirrely Dan an honorable mention, but I'm going to give my MVP to Riley and Jonesy. I thought they were a lot of fun in this episode. They did a lot of heavy lifting throughout the episode, so I'll give it to them. I thought they were great. Victor?
I got to give it to my OG MVP, and that's Squirrely Dan.
Very nice. And Anna?
I'm torn because I was going to say Squirrely Dan, but you got me thinking about Riley and Jonesy again. They really are. They are heavy lifters on this show. And the more you think about it, the more you realize just how much of the show hinges directly on their impeccable delivery and timing. They make it look so easy. But my God, is it hard to pretend to be that dumb so well with such excellent timing, delivery, intonation, interplay. It's how, I don't know if you guys read P.G. Wodehouse, but, you remember sometimes that all these books about Jeeves are supposed to be written from the point of view of a not very bright young man. But my God, do they manage to get their point across? So how much harder is it to play dumb?
Now, to be fair,
sorry, I missed the harmony.
Yeah.
The practice interview they were doing at the end before they got totally violated. They were delivering those lines in an impeccable way. If you reflect back on kind of the verbiage that they were using, and that was really, really, really well done. That if you were looking for some acrobatics, you got it in that last scene just before they got violated.
Yeah.
So
their dialogue is always just, and somehow I don't know why. Kiso, I don't know who Kiso writes dialogue, and what's his
Tierney, Jacob Tierney. This episode is written by Kiso and Tierney.
Right. They somehow don't miss when it comes to the hockey boys. I don't know why.
Well, Kiso's a hockey boy. Like he's
maybe it's the deep knowledge of the scene, but they always come correct when it comes to hockey banter. Even when it's, but he misses they do miss sometimes
on some of the others
with other stuff.
Yeah.
But when those two are on, it's just, they're the perfect vaudeville couple.
Yeah. You had something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to add in, it's been weighing on my brain trying to figure out why Tanis is still recording the hockey. And I'm just wondering here, is she running down the whole province thing and trying to feed into what she's going to get out of those recordings? I'm kind of wondering, is it like a Rock'em Sock'em kind of thing that she's going for? I know you guys have already watched it, but this is what I'm kind of wondering. Is that where she's going with this?
Well, I know where it's going, but I'll let you guys speculate, Matt and Victor, since you guys don't know where it's going.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea, and I'd rather you not tell us.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. That's why I'm letting you guys talk it out.
Yeah, I think she's feeding into it.
I don't think Matt cares.
No, I can't. But I talked about this in all the other ones. It definitely caught my eye again this episode. What the fuck are they doing? Why do they keep recording them?
Because it was noted back to her putting on headphones and them they did a shot purposely showing.
And I don't know who her target is. I've always assumed that she's building ammunition for something. That was my take.
I thought they were just making viral videos for young people to.
Yeah, it was for.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she said. And I don't buy it. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I don't remember or I'm not there yet.
Tanis always has something in her back pocket.
I just don't find it.
Well, I figured it was something like if she builds up a fan base for the team based on those videos, it will attract sponsors or something.
Yeah.
That's a good point to bring up a little detail that I don't know if you guys caught on, but there is a sponsor in this episode.
I did notice
the energy drink, and it's called Bro Dudes.
The cans are crushing
with
during the interview.
The bear logo.
And they had a scarf or something, a towel.
Yeah, and the center ice of the Eagles rink had the Bro Dude logo on there. So just want to bring that up because it is an important point. I think as we go forward, that there's this new sponsor, this energy drink called Bro Dudes.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I don't see the connection yet between that and possibly with Tanis. I just don't find it particularly interesting what is being recorded, and so I've always almost just forgotten about it to say, okay, that's happening, but I don't really care that much because it's just not interesting. Sure. So I'm not sure who will find it interesting, and so it will be interesting to see what that does come to.
Was Rock'em Sock'em, was that a U.S. thing or a Canadian thing?
Canadian, Don Cherry.
No, that was Don Cherry, and
I knew that one.
And that was those tapes were fun. It was all about fights and big hits.
They probably sold in the U.S. too because Americans love the fights. Sorry, Anna, I don't know if did you give the MVP? Was it Square the Anna or did you give it to Riley and Jonesy?
I'm going to give it to the boys.
All right. Riley and
And also honorable mention, Shorzy's poor suffering butthole.
Okay, that's a Victor.
That's a Victor
MVP
reference right there.
Shorzy butthole. All right.
I would
No,
give
it would have been the
I would
toilet.
give it to. I would give it to the porcelain. Yeah.
I was just. Oh man, I so got that one.
All right. This has been great. I have no listener comments. No listener.
I got a
comments.
point, man. I got a point. I said it before he did. I knew what it was going to be.
We're not playing that game anymore.
I don't care. I still got the point.
All right. We have no listener comments, so we'll move on to final thoughts. Matt, what are your final thoughts for today, for this week?
I'm glad we're into new. I mean, for me, we're in new territory,
Yeah.
so this is fun. I'm
exciting.
looking forward to every week to come going forward. Anna, great seeing you. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that you left us with this MVP game, which turned down a very dark path for a while and led us astray.
Oh,
But
what
it's
did
been
you do?
it's been a journey. Victor seems to have brought himself back into normality a little bit, but who knows? We got a whole season ahead of us, so we'll see what comes.
All right, Tanya.
Anna, thank you so much for coming out. I love your mind. I love the way you look at all of the episodes and just pick it apart. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you so much for coming on. And looking forward to this season for sure.
Mm-hmm. Anna, thank you. I'm glad you're safe and dry where you are and seeing all that stuff. And
Yeah,
it's
luck of the draw.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a while. Hopefully it won't be as long for your next appearance, although we're all booked up until the new seasons, but hopefully we can get you on for season 10. Thanks as always for joining us. Thank you for your contribution for the Postage.store MVP. That's been a fun part.
Thanks for the shout out.
Yeah, don't listen to what everyone else is saying. It is a fun part of the show. Victor?
I'm actually I really enjoyed the cold open of this episode, and I kind of felt almost like a breath of fresh air until we got to the bathroom scenes, where I
kind of got substantially less fresh.
where we're starting this season off on a good note, and even though there were some ups and downs, it was a bit of a roller coaster of an episode. It almost dragged on a little bit for me. I did feel that it left me with thoughts that this is going to be a better season, and so I feel optimistic about that. I'm happy that Anna, you kind of broke bread with us on this episode. I think you've got the sweet potato happening there, which I'm not sure what that's about. But
your T-shirt,
she looked. T-shirt this is actually sad. This is from a place in Hawaii that shut down after quarantine. It didn't survive.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was like one of my favorite vegan places to eat, and then did not make it out of quarantine.
Well, that's terrible. I love sweet potatoes, and I would wear a shirt like that for sure.
and you both have something in common. You both have geriatric cats. Anna's cat is 19, I believe.
Oh wow!
We don't quite know how old she is because we got her back when she was already older than 5, and we got her back in I want to say spring 2007, something like that. So it's a very old kitty.
And Pumpkin is how old?
Pumpkin just turned 14, but she's got a couple of health problems. Like she's got some kidney issues, and she's a flat foot, meaning that her front paws, she doesn't walk on tippy toes anymore. So the whole thing is flat when she walks. So she looks like she is handicapped, but she doesn't know that she is, and she's adapted to it, and so she looks funny when she walks. But we love her, and she's still moving.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do when they get old is just, every day's a gift.
My cat lived until 2 weeks before her 19th birthday.
Wow.
So, yeah, that is just so wonderful to spend as much time as possible with them.
Yep.
Anna, do you have any final comments?
Final comments is I hope the next 2 seasons focus. I hope they finally kill this whole
No spoilers. No spoilers. So we haven't watched this season or Or are you talking about?
Wait, no, I'm talking about stuff that already happened.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to talk about seasons 10 and 11. So don't mention anything.
No, I'm just.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm just hoping for the future. Wait,
Yes,
are you saying? Are you suggesting I've seen them?
No, but I thought you were going to talk about seasons 10 and 11 and allude to anything that
Wait
happened.
a second. I thought we were only at 9.
We're on 8.
We're at 8.
This is going well.
Wait a second.
Anyway.
Yes,
we're on
very
8.
well.
There's only 9 has been released.
Correct. But
10 and
when
11
when
aren't
Anna
out.
mentioned new seasons, I know that she's seen the whole series multiple times. I was hoping she wasn't talking about seasons 10 and 11.
9.
Oh,
how do you talk about 10 and 11 when it's not
how
even
can I
aired?
be talking about seasons 10 and 11
Because
if they haven't been released
because
yet?
you were talking about your hopes for season. Okay, this is getting just
Al, keep going. You're
my
explaining
hopes
as well.
for the new seasons. How can it be
First.
spoiler
Let's
unless I'm
second.
psychic?
Okay.
Ay, ay, ay.
Never mind.
I'm still very intrigued as to what Anna was going to say.
I just wanted to make sure she didn't mention anything from season 8 or 9. But
Yeah,
go on.
I think your point came across there, bud.
No, apparently not.
Al, are you done?
I'm not done yet. Anna, save me here, please. I apologize for interrupting. I should have learned my lesson from charcuterie board.
No, I've had it already. Marie Fred and Angie. Enough already. Like enough of women cheating on Wayne. It's getting old.
Yeah.
I don't know who heard you, Jared, but it's enough to talk it over with your therapist. Get over it, or bury that hurt in alcohol. Do something, but come on, buddy, you can't just have everybody cheat on Wayne all the time. It's just unrealistic. As it's like either explain how it keeps happening or why. Don't just have it keep happening out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because so far it's happening out of nowhere and we're not getting any reason what went wrong in these relationships that he's being cheated on all the time.
They're all long distance relationships. That's the problem.
Well, Angie wasn't, but
No, Angie wasn't.
But yeah.
Well, she was
She's his
away.
high school sweetheart.
Yeah, wasn't she? But then wasn't she away? Wasn't she away?
They were dating for 5 years, starting in high school, and she cheated on him. That's all we know.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought she left. I thought she left.
She left him, or he broke up with her after she went, with somebody else. But
I'll have to check the history there. But
it's just, it's a little, I don't know what his problem is, but whatever it is, like it's time to turn over a new leaf.
He needs to get a belt. Everything will be better when he gets a belt.
But he buys pants that fucking fit.
Yeah, he buys pants that fucking fit, and they fit really well. Like,
Anyway, I'm going to play us off here with a song from tonight's episode. It's called Honest by the SSRIs. This one's got a bit of a long intro, so we'll let it marinate. This is the one that's playing just before the fight between the Hicks and the Fricks. And yes, Matt, Fricks.
I was waiting for Matt to call you out on that.
I know.
No, he knows how I feel about it.
And that's all we have for this episode as we take a look at Anna's cat for one last time. And that's join us next week.
Time.
Well, for tonight. Take it easy there, Victor.
That's not PC, bro.
Oh my God. You know what? This can't end quick enough. Join us next week as we recap and review the second episode of Season 8, National Senior Hockey Championship, with our special guest, Eliza. So that means we should be booking a cast member soon, hopefully. Don't forget to give our sponsor, Diabolical Coffee, some love. They're at diabolicalcoffee.com right now. You can use a promo code ProduceStand for 10% off any purchase from their site. If you'd like to support our podcast, rate us on iTunes, become a patron. There's a Patreon link on our site or Twitter profile at ProduceStandPod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at ProduceStandPod. Thank you for joining us. Now we're going to get the old VCR out and watch some episodes of Misfire, except for Victor. On behalf of Anna, Matt, Victor, Tanya, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.